You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to season 3 and episode number 106 of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day is Wednesday? Tuesday. I don't remember what day it is. Tuesday. It is April 25th, 2023, and it is mixed cloudy day here at the at the Ottawa Beaver Lodge. I can see the sun making an effort, but it's still a little gray. I'm your host. Pardon? Mr. Grizzly?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, I thought you were signaling me for something. I'm sorry.
No, I was scratching my forehead.
Okay. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver. And with me, as you've just heard, is my good friend, my constant companion, Mr. Grizzly. Special thank you to our podcast founding sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries, and the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, CanadianTarot.com, and the Pepper Master. My mouth is going faster than my brain today. Steal third, Doug.
It happens.
Kids. Yeah. All right. So we said thank you to our sponsors. So now let's do our most important duty of the day. Say hello to Mr. Grizzly and ask him how's his mental health doing today. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Beaver. I think I'm okay. I don't know. I talked about it a bit last night on the SMR YouTube channel. Got into it, how my allergies are really beginning to affect my mental state because, not enough sleep, right? Not enough sleep affects your mental state. But right now it's because of the allergies that I'm not sleeping well because I'm stuffed up constantly and sneezing and itchy, watery eyes. And just basically a whole bunch of unpleasantness. But it's just kind of how life goes sometimes. So muscle on through. Quiet desperation is the English way. Anyway, I'm quoting Pink Floyd. Quoting Pink Floyd there. Yeah, it's just to stiff up a lip and all, So yeah, I'll just make it on through. And yourself, how you doing? You look a little groggy this morning. What's up? Were you up late last night?
I am a little groggy this morning. I was up late. I got enough sleep, but it's been very weird. I'm, as you know, I'm here to do the workshop for the play, and It's emotionally demanding a bit.
I'll take that. Yeah.
And our instructor, who is a lot of fun and really great, however, is a Russian man who English is not necessarily a dominant language. So there's a lot of trying to figure out what he means sometimes,
You
and a lot of
stand
us
over
getting it
here.
wrong. A lot of us getting it wrong at first, but when we do get it, it's great. But it's been emotionally demanding. So the last 2 days, for some reason, I've been getting back home at 5, stretching out for a couple of minutes, and sleeping for 4 hours.
Oh, that's definitely demanding. Yeah, I recognize that. I've
Yeah,
definitely had those days.
yeah. So the first day, I thought, okay, well, the night before, I'd gotten to bed at 2 because I was helping, my Reaver sweetie with his paper, and I thought that was
Yeah.
normal. But when it happened again yesterday, it's like, okay, this is probably the workshops, because
Today
we're
will be
moving
the
a lot.
telltale. Today, this will be the telltale sign. You
Yeah, if
figure?
it happens again, yeah, then it's definitely the workshop
Because you
because
had the workshop on Sunday, did you?
yeah, yeah, I
Oh,
thought it was going to be just 25 hours spaced over 4 days, but it seems like it's 30 hours spaced over 6.
oh well.
So they're 10 to 4 days, and with half hour for lunch, and basically we are either moving or listening very, very, very intently
Mm.
the entire time. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, but I've been exhausted. On the upside, however, because I've been waking up at 10 something, it's given me opportunities to watch some pretty interesting hockey matches.
Yeah, that was. I didn't expect the outcome that we saw last night. Now the
Yeah,
Leafs are up, what, 3 games to 1?
yeah.
Still plenty of time to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yes, but still, wow! Especially with
Yeah.
a 3 goal come from behind
Yeah,
victory,
no,
and
it
and
showed some grit on their part. It did. I
yeah,
gotta give them that.
and
Yeah.
that's 3 days in a row because I watched the Edmonton match the night before, and they too had a 3 goal come from behind, and then the night before, apparently Winnipeg had a 3 goal come from behind, but they lost in overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
been a good playoff run thus far. Everything I've watched, I've quite enjoyed. It's been some good hockey. I just one of the multitude of reasons I don't want the Leafs to win is so I don't have to listen to the loudest, most obnoxious group of their fans just harp on forever about it. Just to shut them up. Now, a lot of my friends are fans of the Leafs, and they're hockey people. They get the game, and we'll rib each other, but we'll always compliment each other, each other's teams in their play. We have nothing to do with what goes on the ice. I mean, come on, we're just paying fans like everybody else. But it's the obnoxious fans that I can't take, and they're the worst. And you know what? They're obnoxious Sens fans too, and I want to smack them just as much. So it goes both ways. I've met a lot of obnoxious hockey fans who just seem to think they're invested in the team with actual cash.
mm.
You're not. Get over it.
Mm, mm, mhm, mhm,
There's not a
mhm.
player on that team that knows you exist or care.
That's why I stick to curling.
Well, yeah, you can
There's
actually
not
have a
too many
drink with those
obnoxious
people.
yeah, not too many obnoxious curling fans.
Uh, True enough. I've got two quick hits for you, and they're related.
Okie dokie.
First one is I was trying to figure out which order to put these in, and it's like I'll put this one first and then this one. So here's the first one. Doug Ford,
Mm.
steamrolling the Greenbelt Ontario Place in the Ontario Science Centre. It's a Theomedakis political cartoon, and it's got a family sitting on the sidelines with their crying children saying, maybe we should have voted. And I agree because, well, have you seen this headline? Here's a good headline. Oh, sorry, I can't show you that. I'll show you this. Here's a good headline for you this morning. Right here. And I'm just going to blow it up so it's easier to read because it's kind of small on that screen. There we go. We can live with that. Here it is right here. This is Dougie Ford. Premier Doug Ford's government is defending an Austrian company's reported 95-year lease agreement to run a spa at Ontario Place.
Hmm.
Doug Ford's government and defends it. It's a standard lease agreement with Austrian company, Therm says. Infrastructure minister says, well, let me read that again. It's a standard lease agreement with Austrian company Therm, says Infrastructure Minister Kinga Surma.
Now, I understand that
95.
I understand that 95 or 99-year lease agreements can be standard. I mean, that building where they put up near the Daily building in Ottawa,
Yes.
that's a 99-year lease.
Hmm.
That you don't actually own the unit, even though you've paid.
That's
And
right.
after 99 years, it reverts back to the NCC, I believe, or the city.
Yes.
But for a business,
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, an apartment building, I can understand being there 95 years, an office building 95 years, but one specific business?
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how much money is going in his pocket and his developer friend's pocket who is going to build it for Therm. This is public land. Why is there a
Shady,
private development on public lands?
shady, greasy, shady, greasy.
Can we bring this government down? I mean, seriously. You know, it makes me so angry when I hear people, and I hear them in the streets here in Ottawa, where I live, in my neighborhood, running through the streets yelling F Trudeau and screaming freedom, when they fail to realize that 98% of the problems they have in their lives are due to their provincial premiers.
And that most of our provincial premiers are conservative.
Oh my goodness.
Just
2
saying.
and 2 make 4.
Well, it's the same problem in the United States and all those red states.
Yeah.
Like this, they're like the lowest on maternal health, the lowest on maternal health, the lowest, on all the metrics, education, the
Yeah.
salary after you graduate, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, it has never occurred to them over the last 40 years that, oh my God, look at all those other states are doing better than we are. And they're always doing better than we are. And it doesn't matter whether they have a Republican or a Democrat governor. Maybe they're doing some things we should do. Maybe.
You think?
Perhaps. I don't know. Just spitballing. These are the things you think of. Revelations. That's just. All right. Yeah. Dougie's. I've been hearing lots of things about him, and might be a good idea to maybe have a Robert Lee come back on. Because
Oh yeah.
the thing with Doug is that with all this crap that he's doing, there's always something bigger going on that he's hiding behind, right? We had all the interference by the People's Republic of China thing going on, and then the ethics, well, multiple resignations now of ethics commissioners. and you know an inquiry into the public order emergency, and just all
Mhm.
these things that we have happening that's going on, and always somebody at the federal level asking to hold someone's beer, and like Dougie's just like meanwhile in the background just chugging along,
Yeah. Do, 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 do. He's
pretty
Homer
much.
Simpson. He's Homer
It's pretty
Simpson.
much. Yeah.
I mean, really, he's the living embodiment of Homer Simpson.
Oh man.
Except Homer actually had morals.
Yes.
Like, do
He
you realize that
was weak and he could be tempted, but he had morals and ultimately does
he
the
always
right
did the right thing for his family? So,
Yep.
did you know that years ago, I don't know if I mentioned this on this show or not, but years ago, it was a Saturday night and I got called. They're like, we need you to go to Toronto right away. You got to be there at Front Street at 2 a.m. We got to do a cutover. I'm like, okay. So I go to the airport, no flights. I had to grab a rental car. They had a credit card and everything for me. I drive down to Toronto. I get the job done. And Sunday, I stayed over and drove back Monday because I was exhausted. I worked till like 6 a.m. I've been up for like 24 hours at that point. So I'm driving home Monday and I'm listening to whatever radio station I could get. This is like in the 90s, mid 90s, 94 or 95. I think it was 95. So I get an AM radio station and it was the only thing I could get at the time in the rental car. And this talk radio station I was listening to, they had this minister on. And I'm like, okay, I'm about to turn the channel because I don't want to be preached to while I'm driving home on a 4.5, 5-hour drive. And I hear this guy say, the most moral program on television is The Simpsons. And I went, whoa, let's listen to what he has to say. And he broke it down. He says, yeah, I get it. You don't like the fact that Bart's kind of a unruly child and that he says some things and he talks back to his parents. I get all that. But here's the thing. Homer is tempted all the time to cheat on his wife. He never does it because he loves his wife and he loves his child. He works a job he hates to provide for his family. They always do the moral thing. And even when they screw up, they learn a lesson every single time. It's the most moral program on television. And I went, holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe I'll listen to what this guy
Yep.
has to say. And then, of
Yep.
course, I drove a little further, lost the signal, and that was the end of it. But it was an interesting take on modern pop culture.
Yep. I've heard that too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They've been written articles about it and the whole thing. Yeah.
Like I said, Doug is the living embodiment of Homer without the moral compass.
Well, it's like Kit Tim says here. It's like Mr. Burns mixed with Homer.
Yes,
Homer's bubbling and Mr. Burns' ethics.
precisely.
I can make a buck off this. Excellent, Yelich.
It's funny because it's true.
All right. We are on day 7 of the public service strike. And I think that it might be possible that Treasury Board President Mona Fortier hasn't been handling this as well as she could. She has made a couple of comments that include a couple of key words that, if I were on the picket lines, would have made my ears prick up. So she is, for example, around day 6, when PSAC President Chris Elward stated that they would be ratcheting up their strike action by picking more strategic locations, such as ports, for example. She came out and said something like, quote, "I won't be distracted by kicking and screaming. And my objective right now is to make sure that we get a deal that is fair for the employees and also reasonable for Canadians." And then she said something like, "I want to make sure that any new actions are legal."
What? What
Um,
is she going on about?
I know. It's just all those little, like, kicking and demanding a fair wage is not kicking and screaming.
Saying I deserve to be treated like a human being.
Yes. And saying that, putting it in there in your comment that you need to make sure that the actions are going to be legal. I hear a message there.
Yeah. It's not a good one.
It's not a good one. So I don't think she's handling it well. And I'm sad to say that, because she's my MP.
Well,
And I also know her from my high school days.
You might want to have a chat with her then.
Yeah, I don't know her very well. We weren't extremely close friends, but I do know her from my high school days. So yeah, not really impressed with that. Now, the federal government says that they have been making progress, but it's not enough. Fortier has been accused by the union of being incompetent. She has accused the union of being inflexible. And yesterday, Chrystia Freeland came in to make a comment, which is making me wonder whether or not Miss Fortier has been tapped on the shoulder and told, yeah, this is not working. However, Miss Freeland is not saying anything that's much different, and making a bit of the same mistakes, and doesn't seem to be indicating that there is any wiggle room on wages in particular. So she said, "An objective third party, which has been working with both sides on the negotiations, judged that 9% over 3 years was a fair and appropriate landing zone. The federal government is there. We are working very, very hard, and I would urge union representatives to roll up their sleeves. Let's resolve this with the very fair terms that the federal government has put forward." Let's resolve this with the very fair terms the federal government has put forward.
Look, I'm going to be the first one to say, in a negotiation, you ask for the sun, the moon, and the stars, and hopefully you get one of them, which is why they're asking for such a they're demanding, what, 14%, is it?
They're demanding 13.5 when you
13.5
when you count compounding, year over year, it ends up to be 14.1, something like that.
Okay, so that's what you ask for, and you know you're going to compromise and negotiate to get something, as close to that as possible.
Right.
9 isn't bad. I'm wondering if they were to bring it up to 10, would the union go, okay, we can live with that? Because they already, they have they have a preset number in mind of what they will accept. We don't know what it is.
Right.
There is, you ask
Right.
for 20 and you'll settle for 15 or something, arbitrary numbers, of course, but that's the way negotiation works. But I'm wondering what their number is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
I understand they're not going to reveal that right away. I mean, there's no point right now.
Exactly. Yeah. No. They're still in that. They're not even at the bargaining table, are they?
Yeah. They're still at the bargaining table. They never left. They never left throughout this. The government is trying to is trying to two different discourses in the sense that they're trying to make it seem that they're not being antagonistic in any way, and that they're not, putting down ultimatums and that type of stuff. But they seem to be pretty firm on what it is that they're saying, at least in public. And today they said, yesterday, I think, in an open letter, the Treasury Board President, Mona Fortier, said that they have come to an agreement on most of the demands, but they still have 4 sticking points. 1, wage increases. 2, telework, which were the 2 main sticking points right from the get-go. So I'm not sure how much agreement you reached. And the other 2 are outsourcing contracts and seniority rules in the case that there may be a layoff. Other than that, they agree.
A few sticking points.
Wages and telework. There's the 2 principal stated reasons for which they stated they were going on strike. And of course, not having a contract. Yeah. So this may be going on for a while. Quite possible that this might be going on for a while. Oh, well. Yeah, I like that, Kit Saucy. Shouldn't there be legislation that raises pay according to living costs, or is that too much common sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the exasperated sigh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Common sense. First thing I learned about common sense is it's not that bloody common.
Right. My aunt used to say that to me all the time. Said, Dougie, if common sense were common, everyone would have it. And a lot of people don't.
What's my other favorite one?
At some point, I'd even settle for some uncommon sense, so long as it was sense.
One of my other favorite ones: opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
Yes. And we don't need to hear from yours.
Exactly. The hell just went on with my camera there? It went haywire on me. That was weird.
Yep.
I don't know what just went on.
That was definitely a little weird.
It just did its own thing on its own. It was weird. I don't understand technology some days. There we go. That's a little bit better. Technology some days just, I don't know. I know I'm in charge of it, but it doesn't always listen. Technology's a terrible employee sometimes. I need you to do this. I don't feel like it. What are you going to do? Fire me? No. I can't do that. Me. Exactly.
I ain't firing you anytime soon.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
I like you too much. All right. Some interesting news around the world. I mean, this one caught my ear. It's not has nothing to do with Canada, but in Kenya, 58 bodies have been unearthed on the property of a quote unquote pastor. Basically a cult pastor who basically told his flock that they needed to stop eating in order to meet Jesus. So there are people who are literally starving themselves to death.
That's not, you're going to meet Jesus, sure. Yeah.
I mean, he's not lying to them.
You just might not like the way it works out for you is all.
So yeah, that pastor is in custody. But they are worried because they do not know how many people are in his flock and whether or not to, they need to go to village to try and see if they can not recruit, but save some people. But
Mm-hmm.
they found some people, and some of them are still insisting, even though they've told them and explained them to not eat, even though the pastor's been arrested in custody. So that's scary. It's just
It's
like I
just
said, it has no religion, no relation to anything. It just like caught my ear, just the power that some people would have and how they would abuse it. And
Well,
he did not he did not look like he was ridiculously self-indulgent, but he looked like he was eating quite fine.
Well, I got another thing related to Ontario Place here. I'm going to put this on the screen. Ontario Place for All tried to Freedom of Information the provincial contract with Therm. The request was denied because the government argued its release could be harmful and injurious to the economic interests of Ontario. How much is Dougie getting
Oh,
paid?
Dougie's doing the Trump thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Trump, every time he says, "This is so unfair for America. Nothing this terrible has happened to America in all its existence." Just replace America by Trump because l'État c'est moi.
America by
him,
Ontario,
right?
or yeah.
Is
Ridiculous.
So whenever he says like this, we're doing this for the future of Ontario. No, my future.
Douglas,
The future of Doug.
We know better. We know better.
Yep. Like Saucy says, look at Romana Dilaudid. People are not paying mortgages and losing homes because of her antics.
Yeah, no kidding.
We have a lot of people that really want to believe.
They just need to believe in something, I guess.
It's scary.
I don't know. I'll check this. I got the weather cam up. I'll just take a look outside. We're looking there. Yeah, the weather out there. Yeah.
Oh, look at all that weather.
Yeah, all that weather. Well, you can see the leaves and some of the trees in the distance there, which is
my
allergies are kicking my butt right now.
There's weather to the left, weather to the right, weather right up the middle.
The weather, my God, man, it's everywhere.
Ah!
The weather outside is weather.
And I do not know weather. All right. There's been new rules. Well, new rules. Yeah, I guess new rules, you could call them. New air passenger rules announced by the Canadian Transportation Agency and our minister, Omar Al-Gabra. There's about 45,000 claims still in the backlog. And these new rules are going to close a loophole in the existing rules that everybody pointed out when they were, revealed. But nobody did anything about it at the time because we said that airlines would look for a way to use it, and then they did. So the loophole that allows airlines to say that a delay or cancellation was due to safety concerns without first having to prove it has now been closed. So it's now up to the airlines to prove that, as the minister said. This means there will be no more loopholes where airlines can claim a disruption is caused by something outside of their control for a security reason when it's not. And it will no longer be the passenger who will have to prove that he or she is entitled to compensation. There are other things as well. There is a promise that complaints will be looked at within 30 days and solved within 90, and that some of the largest fines will be to airlines will be increased from $25,000 to $250,000 maximum in order to provide them with some incentive to be good corporate citizens. And also, apparently this needed to be stated in rules, but apparently the rules now ensure that passengers must get adequate food and water when there are delays. You would have thought that would have been obvious and already in there, but it seems that it wasn't. The new rules will go into effect until September 30th, so I guess it's not important to ensure that passengers get adequate food and water between now and September 30th. You think they would have made that one immediately?
Yeah.
That specific one, at least. So, yeah. We still don't know exactly what are the exemptions that will be in place, weather-wise, that will allow an airline to say, to claim something without having. That has not yet been spelled out, but that's what we know so far.
This is something that's long overdue.
Yeah, ours is still not up to the standards that Europe is. So
Not even up to the standards of the United States. Not even.
With these changes, would it be, or
Close.
maybe not
I
yet?
know that in the U.S., if you're bumped or your flight is delayed, and you know what your passengers' rights are, you can go and ask for compensation, and they can either give it to you in a voucher or cash. And if you ask for cash, they have to provide it to you. And I think it's something like, if your flight is bumped or delayed by X number of hours, and I don't know what the cutoff is. I'll say 4. I'd have to look it up again, but that would mean they have to give you 700. It's either 750 or 1250 on the spot, and they have to give it to you by law. We don't have anything close to that.
Yeah.
Nothing close to that.
Yeah, nothing close.
I remember I had a flight that was delayed by 6 hours when I was flying to Vegas. It was a direct flight from Ottawa to Vegas. It was delayed by 6 hours because they couldn't get the aircraft to start because it was minus 38 here. So we go back and we deboard. We didn't deplane because I didn't plane to begin with. We deboard.
Yes.
Go back into the terminal and wait until the next flight. Oh, here's a $10 voucher.
Yes.
What does that get me in an airport?
A chocolate bar?
That's it.
If that.
That's it.
Right. $10.
$10. Yeah. Thanks for coming out.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. These 2 sunflower seeds will really sustain me till the next flight.
Yeah. Well, and then I said, okay,
this thimble of beer.
I have to check into a hotel by a certain hour. Or no, we'll take care of that for you. They did do that. So, I was thankful for that. But the $10 voucher, really, in an airport? No, it's not getting you. And this is 20 years ago. And it was $10 a beer in an airport 20 years ago. I don't even know what it is now. We're gonna have to wrap quickly because I gotta head into the office soon. But I do have another thing. I want to show you something about somebody who thinks he's smart and is going to discover very quickly that A, he's taken on the wrong person, and B, oh boy, have you enraged her fans. We're both fans of Pink.
Oh, yes, we
Miss
are.
Alicia Moore, love her to death.
Yes, we are.
Brilliant
Yes, we
artist,
are.
great human being.
Right.
Calls it like she sees it. Exceptional performer. If you ever get the chance to see her live, I highly recommend it. She will not disappoint you.
Right.
So there's a fella who goes by the name of Stu Peters, and I believe he's a talk show host or something. He's the Stu Peters Show. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Executive producer of Died Suddenly.
Oh Lord.
He calls himself a post-apocalyptic warlord, Christian American, host of the Stu Peters Show. Let me put this on the screen, and I'll let you read it, and I'll read it for those who are listening.
Oh Lord,
this is good. So it's a picture of Pink.
Way too small.
A picture of Pink. Okay, I'll read it to you in a sec. A picture of Pink performing on stage, and she has a crop top. And Stu Peters says those aren't childbearing hips, as if to indicate that she's not female. To begin with, she was a gymnast for years. She's been incredibly physically fit, and if you've ever seen her perform live, you would know that she spends months in the gym training before she goes on tour because she does an acrobatic act.
Right.
He picked on the wrong celebrity. Pink fans, ratio the hell out of this man, please. He deserves it. You came for the queen. You're about to lose. Some people just think they can do whatever they want and get away with it. He's about to find out. He FA'd. He's about to FO. Or FO?
Yep.
FA. Yeah, I did get it right.
FAFO. Yeah, you got it right.
FAFO. I had to think about that. The brain sometimes doesn't do things correctly,
He found out, then he fucked around.
Yeah, well, he's
that always sounds like much more fun.
Yeah. Well, he's about to please kits, find out at Real Stu Peters on Twitter. Ratio the hell out of him. I see that Rhiannon Saucy Sea Witch is already her response. Are you trying to take on Pink? Godspeed, sir. Oh my, what a grave error on his part. Dude is about to find out. Oh boy.
Oh, God. It's like that Bugs Bunny. He don't know what he did, do he?
Do he? Uh,
Oh, man. All right. Before we wrap up, of course, there's some big news south of us, which maybe we should have our old pal Jake on one morning to have a
yeah,
chat about.
I'll reach out to him today,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Uh, Tucker Carlson is no longer at Fox News.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'd
The
been
white
given the boot.
supremacist, racist mouthpiece for Russia. Not only has he been
Yes.
given the boot, but he was immediately offered a job on Russia Today.
Oh, yes, of course,
Yeah,
right.
immediately,
So
like
that
within seconds. Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
Yes. So that should let you know, right? Now there's different stories about who did it. The official thing is it was a mutual accord thing, but it seems that it was Rupert Murdoch himself that said that he's got to go. One, because he's being sued by an assistant,
Hmm.
former producer, and she apparently had let it be known that Fox had hidden evidence or fully transparent disclosure in this trial
Well,
with Dominion Voting Services,
they want to
and it
make it go
seems
away.
that and it seems that Rupert Murdoch is kind of tired of Tucker's January 6th insistence. I thought it would have been for that terrible Canada special, but it seems that's not his fired.
No,
So yeah, he's out on his ass, and it seems that it was a bit of a surprise to him because he signed off on his Friday shows, telling everybody that he was going to see them Monday.
he didn't know. Well,
Oops,
like
he did not know.
I described him as a racist, white supremacist a mouthpiece, I know somebody's like, really, is that true? Actually, there was a gentleman who was on. I saw a documentary, and he was talking about the creep of white supremacy and extreme far right evangelical Christians. It's like it's all sort of lumped together within police and military. They've been creeping in for years. And he says, my family are all a bunch of racist pieces of human garbage. He says, I want nothing to do with my family. And then he went on to talk about how Tucker Carlson's talking points are all what the white supremacists use.
Yep.
They're sugar coated. They're sugar coated chunks of acid hatred. You put the sugar coating on it, so when you swallow it, it tastes good. And then all of a sudden, when it gets into your stomach, you realize what you've just swallowed. And this is something that they've been doing for a number of years now. They blanket the hatred a little layers deep, a few layers
Mhm.
deep, so you don't see it right on the surface. So it goes over the heads of a lot of people, especially in a 2-second talking point on television.
Right.
But it's there, and they use all the same talking points that he was using. So yeah, he's a white supremacist piece of human garbage. And basically, hey, guess what, Carlson? Tucker
Yep.
Carlson.
Yep. And it looks like they might be taking Fox off
Canadian
the
Airwaves?
TV screens. Well, not Canadian Airwaves, but U.S. military bases and
Oh,
stuff like
yes.
that,
Yeah.
because apparently it's on 24/7, federal prisons, that type of stuff. So it looks like there might be a directive that it not be shown there
Mhm.
because it's affecting morale.
Gee, I wonder why.
So yeah, he's gone. It could also be that those were undisclosed terms of the settlement with Dominion. It says you got to
That's
get these people
possible.
off the air, but we don't know. But anyway, he's gone.
Mhm.
We do not know with what he's going to be replaced. So I mean, let's not celebrate too hard because we don't know what's coming
Could be
next.
worse. We don't know.
But yeah, exactly. But turns out that Dan Bongino is also gone from Fox as
Yeah.
of last Thursday.
Hmm.
I missed that one totally. And it seems that CNN, not knowing that Tucker Carlson was going to be dumped, also dumped Don Lemon
Yeah.
because he had made some sexist remarks about Nikki Haley on the
Yes.
morning show. Now, he had
Yes.
been moved from the evening show to a morning show because they were trying to start one with Poppy Harlow, and I don't remember the other lady's name off the top of my head, and proceeded to make sexist comments on the morning show with two other very accomplished women right there.
Yeah. I think something if women over 50 are past their prime was one of them. And I think
Something like that. Yeah.
I think somebody on his staff, uh, 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 he dropped the F word, and it wasn't UCK, it was AT, which He called her that live on television. Dude, you should know in 2023 you can't say that.
That's not fabulous.
No, you can't say that in
Just saying, Don.
2023. Even if it is a fact, you still can't say it.
Yep. Indeed. So, yeah, lots of stuff going on. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff with all the trials and all that kind of stuff. The E. Jean Carroll trial starts today, kids.
That's gonna be juicy.
Ooh, juicy. Apparently, he wanted the judge. He's not forced to attend that one, but he wanted the judge to actually instruct the jury to not make any negative inference by virtue of the fact that he doesn't want to be there.
Too bad.
It's like, the judge says, fuck no. This is going to be so much fun, Mr. Trump. All right. Mr. Grizzly, do we have a show?
We do indeed, sir. We do indeed.
All right. Kids, we hope that that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver Morning Show. We hope you love listening to us because we love making this for you. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. So please, if you could use those beautiful lips and those gorgeous vocal cords of yours to let people know about us, we would be grateful. Just ever so grateful. Because democracy is something that you do, please write your MPs, your senators, your MLAs, your MNAs, your media people, whoever, your ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, and let them know that you want our public servants to be treated well, and that you also want our media to turn their attention back to the stories such as Nazigate and Greenbelt Gate and
Ontario Place and Ontario Science Centre. Yes, all of it.
Yes, all the gates and Danielle Gate and the Pulaski Gate, and I think out in New Brunswick, I think there's something to do with official languages because there's lots of stuff going on. Apparently, there was some by-elections in Nova Scotia yesterday too. There was 3 of them, and 3 Liberal candidates won the by-elections, and it's a progressive Conservative majority government there.
Yeah, interesting.
People are very tired of Mr. Higgs. They would like his term to be up right now if they could.
Yeah, and he's only been in power for what, a year and a half?
Well, he had the previous term, and then they ran again. And he got a majority, I think.
Right. So
I might be wrong on that. He may have gotten a majority during the term due to resignations as well.
Yeah,
because it wasn't. He didn't have a thin minority.
I'll have to get up to date on that.
Yeah, me too. I'm a little behind there. All right. Let's see. If you would like us to come straight to you when we have something fresh off the podcast, fresh off the bandwidth, you go to our pod page. That's podpage.com/The True North Eager Beaver, lowercase letters with a hyphen between each one of those words. And that's how you get us knocking on your door. If you would like to support us, you can go to our coffee page. That's ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, all in lowercase letters, one word. And that will bring you to our emergency hot chocolate, coffee, Guinness, and Caesar fund. And that's how you can show us a little love and encourage us to do more of this for your benefit. And let's see, what else do we have? We don't have merch yet. Oh, yes, if you want to contact us, you can do so on our Facebook page, The True North Eager Beaver, on our Twitter feed @TrueEager, or by email, truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. From the Ottawa Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying, it could be a tough world out there, kits and cubs, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. Mr. Grizzly, some words of wisdom, please.
May your coffee be hot, your whiskey be neat, your Guinness be cold, your heart be happy, your attitude be great, and your gratitude be forever. That's all I got this morning.
There you go. That's a really good one, Mr. Grizzly. I appreciate that one a lot.
Hold that right out.
There you go. All right, Mr. Grizzly, please roll the credits.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum. And The Peppermaster, Hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
I got a message for Don Lemon in regards to his women over 50 or past their prime. I'm going to be 55 soon. The women I date are anywhere from 50 to 56, 57. I haven't dated anybody 60 yet, but I wouldn't rule that out. Let me tell you something, Mr. Lemon. Women over 50 are just hitting their stride. They are very much in their prime. Looks like we lost Mr. Beaver. We'll see you soon, kits and cubs. Take care.